What's up, YouTube? Asian Cinema Takeout. I'm Jesse Midnight Crawler, and welcome to the third episode of 7 Deadly Venoms, where I'll be sharing with you guys 7 movies I've seen recently and my thoughts on them in under 7 minutes. First up, we have The Raid Redemption from 2011, directed by Garth Evans. It's basically like the SWAT team goes into an apartment building to take on this drug trafficker and his business, and all hell breaks loose. Shoot 'em ups, violent action, goodness all around. And it stars leading actor is Iko Uwais. He was also in part 2 and Headshot, which I loved. This one did not disappoint. Very late to the party, but so glad I finally got to see it. This was a 9 out of 10. Next up, it's Perfect Blue, directed by Satoshi Kon, released in 1997. This is one I've been wanting to see for the longest time because I did see his other movie, Paprika. Basically, this J-pop singer, she wants to leave the music business and become an actress, and in doing so, she takes on like a questionable roles like there's this one there's this one scene that she shoots where she's getting raped, and her agents are like questioning her motives. But not only do her agents question her, like she starts questioning herself. There's this one fan who has like a website devoted to her, and then what becomes a linear story just becomes a total mindfuck. You don't know if she's hallucinating, if she's dreaming, what's going on, and you just have to see what happens. Great psychological thriller with some horror elements. This was an 8 out of 10. Highly recommended. Really good. And all right, next up we have Yakuza Graveyard from 1976, directed by Kenji Fukusaku, who also did Battle Royale. And this was a flick, like set in the the 70s, where the Yakuza factions are at war and the cops are in the middle. This cop right here, played by Tetsuya Watari, he sides with one side of the Yakuza faction, while the main police force and the chiefs, they sided with the other. So there's a lot of friction that takes place between the two, and just another where all hell breaks loose kind of scenario. And in here you also have Meiko Kaji, who has a small role, but it's really cool to see her in it. That's an 8 out of 10. All right, next up we have Marrying the Mafia. All right, this guy and this girl, they wake up in the same bed together, thinking they had a one-night stand. The girl has her families are all gangsters, and the brothers try to force the guy to marry her. It's just lighthearted comedy, nothing too memorable, just like a popcorn flick, but it's lots of fun. And like I said, I was laughing my ass off at a few of the moments. 7 out of 10. All right, next up we have Matrimony from 2007, and this is basically like a slow burn horror film, but it's pretty good. All right, so this guy's about to get married, and his soon-to-be bride, she gets hit by a car right in front of him and dies. So he is mourning for her loss, and eventually remarries for his mom's sake. But he hasn't accepted his new bride, and he hasn't got over mourning over the death of his ex. So there's this restless spirit who's played by Fan Bingbing, who not only haunts him but haunts his new wife and the family. And there's some possession that takes place. It's interesting, a lot of Chinese folklore in here, but it's an interesting slow burn horror. This was a 6 out of 10, and like I said, Fan Bingbing was in it, and she is hot because I really dug her in Lost in Beijing and that white-haired witch of film that she was in recently. All right, let's jump into Moonlight, Sword, and Jade Lion, released in 1977, I believe. This stars Angela Mao. And Angela Mao, I saw her recently in Lady Whirlwind. Blew my mind. And this one, she's helping her master look for his missing brother. And she goes around town asking for him. And everybody that gives her a little bit of information gets taken out by a dagger to the back of the neck. And then finally, she becomes a target. She becomes targeted by ninjas and by assassins, and trials and tribulations occur and all this goodness. It does get a little wonky at the end. It fizzles out, but it's still really fun to see Angela Mao kicking ass with this spear weapon, and she does a great job of doing so. 6 out of 10. All right, and we're gonna finish things off with, I believe, 2002's Black Mask 2: City of Masks. Directed by Shu Hark. This is just, I'm not even going to get into the plot because it's just batshit crazy. This stars Andy On, who's taken on the Black Mask role from Jet Li, and he does a great job. This is his first feature film, and he's moved on to great things since then, like Fist of Legend and also Once Upon a Time in Shanghai. Oh man, but a great cast in this. You have Scott Adkins, who plays this character that looks like Dr. Mindbender, who wears goggles. You wouldn't even recognize him unless you go on IMDb and check out who's in the cast. And you also have Tyler Mane, Rob Van Dam playing wrestlers that become mutants. One becomes a werewolf, the other becomes like this claw creature. It's insane. The CGI is terrible, but it's fun. That's the thing. This movie is so bad that it's actually enjoyable. And a special shout out to Tracy Lords. She is in this. She plays a chameleon, and it's batshit crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. 6 out of 10. It's so bad. It's actually fun. So that's gonna be it, guys, for third episode of 7 Deadly Venoms. I am a little under the weather, so I just want to knock this video out, and I hope to see y'all very soon. Peace.